It's not our cause. It's October 3rd, 2009. And I'm covering the alleged war crimes committed by Israel. Now, I grinned, I know, when I said alleged, because I got the skinny and I got the facts, okay? And I'm going to lay it out for you. Very simple. Undisputable. What took place. Here's the proof. Here's the images. Here's the video. I'm not going to get into everything. I can't cover everything. I got a lot of videos on my site that I was covering the details as the war was going on, and I was using the clips that were coming out, and I was utilizing that same as I'm going to do with this video. I'm pretty sure this is a two-part video. I'm trying to cover everything reasonable, and it's going to get heated here a few times. Make no mistake about it. I'm going to lose my cool a couple of times. There's not much I can do about this. I'm very passionate about genocides, okay? I consider this a genocide, and I got the proof to back it up. I got the scholars, United Nations, Red Cross, Human Rights, all calling for war crime charges. And nobody out there is allowed to say anything because they're anti-Semitic. You're anti-Semitic if you open your yap, okay? I've had video after video of mine taken down because I was considered anti-Semitic because I pointed out clips and lies that were beyond a shadow of a doubt. And we'll get into that right away, and here we go. So it was collective punishment. They punished the entire country. They barricaded it. They blockaded it. They wouldn't allow people to come and go for medical, let alone anything else. They wouldn't allow goods to come in and out of that. It was a collective punishment. And then it was a military genocide of depleted uranium, dime bombs, white phosphorus, you name it, 155 millimeter shells, jets, tanks, and military's own assortment of high-powered weapons that we don't even know about. You know, it was a genocide, folks.
What international lawyers have been saying for the last 30, 40 years, collective punishment is the most odious form of punishment. If any country was to engage in form of collective punishment, and those who are responsible for it must be brought to trial, because that is a principle which is clear and unblemished.
Now you got to remember, there was a ceasefire. There was a ceasefire in Gaza until November, when Israel killed 4 people. Right? Let's not forget that. Okay. Then it all started again. But I mean, this has been going on for a long time, and that was a provocateur movement in order to initiate that war in December. That was the catalyst. This was what they were crying about constantly, that they had every right to go barbarize the entire country.
Well, this is just a repetition of rewriting of history. In fact, there was a ceasefire in Gaza. Hamas had not carried out any rocket attacks until November 2008, after the Israeli army murdered 4 people in Gaza by bomb from the air.
I'm making this video because Barak from Israel went to Britain. He was invited to Britain, and he got immunity. And a group there went to court about 100 kilometers away on the same day he was having meetings with the British government and tried to file war crimes. Now, the Geneva Convention of 1957 says it is a duty and obligation of Britain to prosecute people who are allegedly associated with war crimes. Now, I'm going to detail what we all seen on TV and what we all know and what's all documented. But Israel says it's not a war crime, and you're anti-Semitic if you say such a thing.
As Israeli Defense Minister, he ordered Israel's offensive on Gaza. 16 Palestinians who suffered as a result of what a UN report has described as crimes against humanity brought the action.
So if Israel says there was no war crime, but Red Cross, United Nations, and Human Rights all say there was war crimes, do they, are they prosecutable? Apparently, according to them, no.
There is clear evidence, what we lawyers call prima facie, i.e. evidence of war crimes, documented principally by Judge Goldstone, an incredibly independent account, Amnesty International, and the International Red Cross Committee, and also Human Rights Watch.
Israel refused to defend herself. They refused to defend themselves from the United Nations, the Human Rights, Red Cross. They refused...
May I add, Israel refused access to them.
...to get involved in investigations. If they got nothing to hide, why not get into an investigation and defend yourself and clear your name? Instead, they let those 3 organizations smear them and say they're anti-Semitic and they want to destroy them.
United Nations. And what you have is an organization, particularly the Human Rights Organization in Geneva, that is dedicated to smearing Israel and undermining it.
When they won't even defend themselves. And that's the routine, over and over and over, repeatedly. You don't get involved in your investigations, we call you anti-Semitic, we say you hate us, you're trying to destroy Israel. Israel is no different than any other country on the planet. You are no better than anybody else on the planet. You are no way above the law. What you've done, you committed war crimes, you've done it on purpose, and you said we'll just call everybody anti-Semitic, we'll use our power of the internet, and we'll bring out all these patriots to spam everybody and flag everybody, and knock everybody's videos down, and to give our videos numbers, and we'll get there and we'll scream anti-Semitic, and you'll back us up, and you'll go around, you'll call anybody who says anything on a page anti-Semitic. You go right to their site, call them anti-Semitic, harass them, chase them on all their videos, leave all kinds of obscene comments on the videos. I've watched this over and over and over since December. Because I'm following it, trying to understand what really happened. And what really happened was, it was a war crime, a biblical proportion, a genocide, carried out on purpose, targeted. You went and got yourself a media spokesman to cover your ass. You started up a YouTube site, and within 2 days you had 18,000 subscribers, and you spammed video after video. This was orchestrated. This was a genocide that backfired. So, I mean, rockets coming from jets is not precision bombing. Yes, it's precision bombing. What they're trying to say is they put a bomb down in the house, hit the terrorists on the head, and kill them. When in reality, they blew up the entire neighborhood to get one guy. And those neighborhoods are squashed together. There's a lot of people in those neighborhoods. A lot of children, a lot of women. Now, we say 1,400 dead that we know about. How about the wounded and destroyed and the death from all the bombs? 200,000 homes got bombed, folks, in 22 days. You do the math on that. You do the math on that. That's beyond imagination. A 900-foot kill ratio on those shells, 155mm shells. A 900-foot kill ratio in a compacted area full of civilians. To get something like 15,000 Hamas members, they bombed 200,000 buildings. A little overdone it, eh? Oh, that's right, I'm an anti-Semitic. Sorry, I'm anti-Semitic. Ooh, I spoke out. I'm an anti-Semitic. I'm so sick of them words. They just bounce off me now.
The fact that the Foreign Office have given this document of immunity to Mr. Barak is extremely worrying. The whole point is that we should be upholding international law. The issue...
Should they be allowed to be above all laws because God talked to them? Okay? Psychology 101, man. You talk to God, you're saying if God talks back to you, you are by definition insane, okay? But because God talked to them, they're allowed to have 5,000 lobbyists beat up every senator and congressman in the United States to make sure they get the biggest welfare handout imaginable. They're the biggest welfare on the planet, okay? They're always crying, always screaming, always begging, always saying it's poor us, poor us, poor us.
Under English law, there is an act of parliament called the Geneva Conventions Act of 1957, which actually places an obligation, a positive duty on the United Kingdom to actually pursue those alleged who have against them an allegation of war crime.
1957 Geneva Convention Act places an obligation on the government. And we've seen them use this act before against Israel, you know, and I'll get into those clips. But, you know, this was on purpose that they were given immunity. They shouldn't be given immunity because they're under that Geneva Convention treaty. It's just so wrong.
If he's actually, by law, immune from prosecution, that's it. He is immune from prosecution.
Well, I think you can ask the question, is immunity given to any member of a government, no matter what their position is and no matter what acts they commit?
Like, how can someone be immune from prosecution? How can they be immune from the standards that the whole world has to hold each other to for accountability? How do you all of a sudden give one group, One single group, immunity. How is that possible? Now, we got a spokesman from Israel, and he says, we have tranquility in Gaza today because we terrorized that entire country beyond imagination. But don't say nothing like that because you're anti-Semitic. He actually says those words. There they are.
Is that the terrorists are afraid of what Israel will do to them. This is the reason why we have relative tranquility in Gaza today.
Okay,
this is the reason
we're going to
why
have to move on. We're going to have to move on. Just a final word from Michel Abdelmassi. Sorry to interrupt. We have to move on because the program is about to close.